Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Well, Shelley, what a great show today. I really enjoyed this morning's show.
Oh, it's lots of fun being back in the chair. It's it brings back memories of old times, I got to say, Andy.
Well, I got to say, I enjoyed your memories from Bob Gass, that interview you did with him many years ago, just hearing his heart, even his connection to the Titanic. That was really interesting.
Yeah, his grandfather helped to build the Titanic over in Belfast. Bob Gass, of course, being the author of the Word for Today that we distribute here at Vision. Head to our website if you want to sign up for that. But gee, he's an interesting bloke and so much to say. It was just really cool to hear a bit about his life.
Yeah, and if you don't know who Bob Gass is, he writes the Word for Today, and hundreds of thousands of people across Australia every year read the Word for Today. We also had a visit from Pastor Sam from the Coomera Baptist Church. He's such a deep thinker and a great Bible teacher. A little message there on how to be strengthened through God's grace.
He did a 30-minute sermon in about 4.5 minutes flat. So love your work there, Pastor Sam. But yeah, great to know how we can be strengthened by God's grace, what that actually means in our lives.
Yeah, all that and much, much more on today's podcast of Rise and Shine. Good morning, everyone. So glad you've joined us today and hope you had a super weekend. And good morning to you, Shelley.
Good morning, Andy. It is so good to be back in the chair for a Monday morning.
It is. And if you're just joining us now and you weren't with us on Friday, Fella's got a week off. She had a medical procedure on Friday. She'll be back hopefully in about a week's time. But until then, Shelley has stepped up. She's got up early again today. She's left those 6 kids and husband at home and she's joined us. So glad you did come in this morning again, Shell.
Yeah, it's good to be here for a holiday away from that. No, I love my kids. They are wonderful. They obviously take a bit of work, but I wouldn't have it any other way. But gee, it's great to be spending Monday morning with you. And we've got a lot of great things coming up as well. Oh, and I should say, yeah, absolutely thoughts with Fel at the moment. Probably feeling a little bit worse for wear, but looking forward to having her back on deck next week. Lots coming up, though. We've got Pastor Sam coming in.
Yes, he's such a good Bible teacher, Pastor Sam. One of my favourites. He'll be with us today. We're also going to talk about birthdays and Facebook and how that all plays out, because the world has changed, Shelley. The world has changed.
Oh, yes. Somewhat for the better and somewhat for the worse. So, yeah, that's coming up. And we are delving into the archives because, Andy, I'm really old.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it, Shell.
But back when I was young, I used to work here. Before I had those 6 kids. But look, I've been delving back into the archives and gee, I've found some funny stuff. So we're going to dig out some of the stuff from way back in the day when I used to co-host with Robbo and some of the people that we used to talk to.
Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily podcast. Please subscribe to the show, rate it on your favourite podcast platform and share the link on your socials. It all helps get the word out.
Happy birthday, Andy. I saw it was your birthday over the weekend on Facebook.
Yes, look, Facebook did tell the world that it was my birthday, but guess what,
you are
world?
Old.
Yeah, well, no, not yet. I'm going to be old later in the year because guess what, world? It wasn't my birthday on Saturday.
Did you lie to Facebook?
Yes, I did. When I first set up the account, I thought, I'm not going to let anyone know my date of birth in case they try and steal my identity. So I just put a fake birth date in there. It's been there for like 15 years now? Facebook's been at maybe
probably
20.
Something like that.
And
a lot of people do that. I got suspicious of my friends whose birthday was the 1st of April. And also I have friends who are the 1st of January, and I just never know whether to wish them a happy birthday or not. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, so somehow I decided, you know what, I'll put my real birthday in there and I'll make it go public. So I've hit the public thing last year sometime and forgot to put my real birth date in because I started feeling a little bit, neglected on my birthday. Because you remember in the good old days, you'd get cards and presents from friends. Yeah. Now you just get a Facebook message, don't you? That's kind of it. Maybe a text message.
Well, I don't really remember getting that many cards and presents from friends. I used to get text messages, and I still do, actually. It was only my birthday a few weeks ago, and it was actually a milestone birthday too. But I did get a few texts, and I got a whole lot of Facebook messages, and I reckon I actually get more acknowledgement these days on Facebook. And I do dish it back to other people as well. It's a great opportunity. If you don't talk to them all year, it's a great opportunity to just send a quick, g'day, how you going? Hope things are going well. How are the kids? It's a kind of at least a once a year catch up and check in with your mates.
Yeah, well, one good thing happened is Greg Newman, who does afternoons here on Vision, he contacted me on Saturday morning, goes, Andy, we need to catch up for lunch then. I'm like, oh, cool, I'm looking forward to that. So Greggy caught up for lunch with me thinking it was my birthday. So we're at the cafe and when he realised it wasn't my birthday, he decided, because he's a professional, he's a radio man, he decided to record some audio to talk about it. We might have a listen to that now.
Vision Christian Radio. Yes, it's Rise and Shine with Greg and Shelley. Actually, I'm in a cafe at the moment with Andy. I thought we were celebrating your birthday today, Andy. I said, let's get together, celebrate your birthday.
Yeah, well, thanks to Facebook, Greggy. You saw it on there this morning. It was Andrew McLennan's birthday, but it's actually a fake birth date I put on Facebook years ago to protect my identity. So we'll have to put this one down to fake news, Greg.
Okay, all right. And there I was ready to buy you a birthday card. That would be special, wouldn't it? When was the last time you got a birthday card or indeed a Christmas card?
Yeah, I do miss those days because, cards are written by hand. People make a bit of effort. They share their little heart with you or their thoughts with you. And I remember when people first started texting birthday greetings, I thought, gee, that's shallow. Like, it's so kind of basic. But now a text message birthday message is actually better than a Facebook message because, as we were saying before, Facebook reminds us now of when our friends' birthdays are. So you just send them a quick Facebook happy birthday. Some people I know literally just put a H and a B and that's it. It stands for happy birthday.
Okay, and we are here today at this lovely little cafe which you've recommended. Phil Young's joined us, a friend of ours. Phil, when was the last time you sent a Christmas card or received a birthday card?
I totally lost any recognition of when I...
Okay. So didn't receive any Christmas cards this year?
No.
No? All right. I received one from one of our... Oh, you've thought of someone? No, he hasn't. He hasn't. Okay, well, I think we better get back to your normal program now. I'm dominating this program. Greg and Shelley. We used to do the Brekkie Show many years ago. Shelley, remember those memories? She'll share a few with you in a moment. But thanks for being a part of your show this morning from the cafe, Andy.
Well, thanks for wishing me my birthday when it's not even my birthday, Greg. I want to put it down to last year's birthday. You've finally caught up and looking forward to the real birthday later this year. So there you go, Shelley.
Happy birthday, Andy. Live from the cafe, or not so live.
Yeah, and my conscience wouldn't allow me to get the free lunch, so I paid for my own lunch. But it is a different world, isn't it? That, cards seem to be a thing in the past, both at Christmas and birthdays.
I did get a few. Being a milestone birthday, I did have a bit of a party. And, people did do the old handwritten cards, which is nicely appreciated. And now they'll get stored in the cupboard for, I don't know. But you just can't throw them out. See, that's the next thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, Greg touched on something there. You guys have worked in radio together. I think later on the show, Shell, we are going to sort of revisit some of your moments from radio from years ago because you interviewed some really interesting people back in the day. So we'll have a listen to that.
Rise and shine on Vision Christian Radio.
And there's been so much talk about the cost of living crisis. A lot of people feeling it at the moment, doing it tough. But there's also been a bit of chatter the last few days. I've seen it kind of floating around in the media of, well, actually, is there a cost of living crisis? Some interesting points getting made.
Yeah, well, there's also an election campaign going on, which I don't know about you, I'm already bored, but one of the things that they're talking a lot about is this cost of living crisis. So it's a really good question to ask, isn't it? Is there a cost of living crisis, or is it just something that's being hyped up, or is it actually really hurting a lot of people out there?
Yeah, and we talked with Melissa Gooden, who is a financial planner from Retire Me Young, and asked her if she has any advice for us.
Andrew, my position is always, regardless of where we're in an economic cycle, you've got to spend less than you earn. It's good old-fashioned advice. Everyone who's gone anywhere in life spends less than they earn. And I was actually making a hot chocolate this morning, and I thought of this. I thought, you know what? How many people would actually go and I literally make my own hot chocolate. I have I have cocoa, and then I put sugar-free stuff in mostly because I can't find the stuff that I want to buy. But I thought, how many people do that? I would say a lot of people go in and spend $5 for a small, tiny tin of hot chocolate. So I don't know. I'm going to challenge people. Is there really a cost of living crisis, or are we all getting a little bit lazy?
Well, I got to say, the cafes in my area are full. And the concerts are packed out at all the arenas, and all the sports games are packed out. These things all cost money. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with going to any of that. They're great. There's lots of good things about going to sport and concerts and all of that. But in a cost of living crisis, is it truly a crisis if we're spending money on things like that aren't, completely necessary?
Well, I always say if you are going to spend less than you earn, you've got to give yourself a reward, right? Life's here to have fun as well as be responsible and get ahead. So you've got to balance those two things. So I always say to my clients, look, you're going to be spending less than you earn with me. You're going to be spending a whole lot less than you're used to. But to compensate for that, we need to give you stuff that actually makes you happy. So we need you to work out what actually makes you happy, and then spend less money, but spend the money that you do spend on that stuff that makes you happy. And so if going and having your coffee every morning and hanging out in a cafe makes you happy, that's a great $5 spent. But then maybe don't just go and tap at Bunnings and Kmart and spend $200, right? So you could save on the stuff that's not important and then spend on the cool stuff that actually brings you joy in life. So that's how I manage things, and that's how I say live life.
Yeah, so you've got clients, as you said, so you literally coach your clients in how to spend, how to budget, where to spend, and even applying Pavlov's dog's theories, give them a little reward at the end of each week where they can spend their money so they're still enjoying life.
Yes, Andrew, I do have a psychology degree.
So you remember Pavlov very well, don't you?
I do remember how to, give intermittent rewards to change behavior, and it actually works. So, yes, you've got it. There is a big psychological underpinning to my company. And it really does. It comes down to that. We need to trick ourselves into giving us the pleasure that we crave as humans, but then also allowing our rational brains that want to make these really good decisions to, get their freedom and allow us to make decisions that are good for us.
Yeah.
Yet also appeasing that kind of animal in us, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. God's given us money to enjoy, but we do need to use it wisely. Now, Melissa, we are coming into tax time, which I'm sure is your favourite part of the year. Do you have any tips for us as we come into tax time as a financial planner? What can we be doing to maximise that refund?
Yeah, so if you're finding that you're not doing too bad as far as the spending less than you earn, and this is the big thing that every single one of my clients we do in our tax review every year, so you could probably start doing it yourself, is jump onto your MyGov account and look at what you've got as far as your unused carry forward concessional contributions. It's a really daggy word, but effectively what it means is if you put money into super, you get a massive amount back in your tax return. So it's kind of like win-win. Always be mindful that anything you put into super, you can't access until you retire or 65. But if you're over 60, you can start accessing it tax-free. So there is some ways to do it after 60. But basically, if you go onto your MyGov account, go onto your ATO portal, and up the top, look for unused concessional contributions, then most people will have a huge amount. Some people $70,000, $80,000, $100,000. And what this effectively means is if you put money into super, you lose 15% going into super, that's fine. And then you would get back your tax rate back in your tax return. So most people are losing 15, but they're getting 30% back in their tax return. So it's a really great strategy. And if you're if you're over the age of 50, really, that is the time super starts becoming cool, finally. You can pump money into super, get ready for tax-free income after 60. If you're in your 50s, oh my gosh, you need to be seeing a financial advisor who knows what they're talking about when it comes into reducing your taxable income, boosting your super, and getting tax-free income in retirement.
You have not disappointed with all the geeky financial planning stuff, Melissa. Appreciate your wisdom. Of course, it is general advice only, and so do speak to your financial planner to get the more specific stuff for your unique situation.
And if people want to get in touch with you, Melissa, your website is retiremyoung. Is it a .com or .org? Tell us what the website is.
Google retiremyoung.com.au, whatever you want. There's a 15-minute free booking link. So jump on there. One of my staff will chat to you and they can book a 1-hour free meeting with me. I can go through everything, give you some basic information and explain, if you want to become a client or if you just want some information, that'd be great.
And that's anyone, anywhere in Australia. Melissa Gooden, you are a wealth of information in this space. I really appreciate your time. We really appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining us on Rise and Shine.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
And she makes a whole lot of sense when you're talking about dollars and cents.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me Vision's breakfast show is now available around the clock and on demand? Incredible! The Rise and Shine podcast. Rise and Shine.
Are you ready for a challenge? Listen to the mystery sound, correctly name the Bible story, and win a great prize. Sounds easy, but is it? Rise and Shine's Bible Stories Sound Off.
It's the game, Shelley, that everyone's been waiting for all weekend. It's called Bible Story Sound Off. How did you enjoy the game on Friday?
It was a lot of fun. In fact, my kids loved the time machine last week.
Well, just for your kids, Shelley, it's been, 2 whole days since we flew the time machine. I think you and I need to saddle up right now. We need to get in that bad boy and we are going to fly back in time.
Oh, sounds good. Oh.
This
is a bit squishy in here.
It's a nuclear-powered time machine.
It's a bit smelly in here too. Oh,
That's not me, Shelley. Someone else.
sure.
Here we go.
Let's go. Helmets on.
Feeling those G-forces.
Seatbelts. All right, let's go. Faster.
We're flying, Shelley. We're flying.
Oh, there's the International Space Station. Woo!
I think I just saw Socrates standing on the Areopagus lecturing all the Greek leaders of the democracy down there.
Wow.
But anyway,
G'day, Socrates. How you going?
We're going to do a U-turn from there. We're going to land in Israel because we need a sound from a Bible story in the Bible somewhere.
Yes, and so we've brought our recording equipment along just for you. We do have a sound from a Bible story, and you've got to pick what the sound is, which Bible story it comes from. Now, Andrew, we had 1 second of it last week, and now you're going to be super generous and give us 2 seconds.
Yeah, we can't rush these things, Shelley. I know it's been a while since you've been on breakfast radio, so we don't rush these games because our audience are actually very switched on. If we give them too much too soon, they're going to crack it too soon. But
they're going to win everything. They're too smart.
Let's have a listen. Okay, this is the sound. This is the sound.
Okay. Go again.
Okay.
Interesting. I've got a few ideas.
Well, I don't want you to give too much away, but what I can promise you, Shelley, it's in the Bible.
Okay.
It's in the Bible somewhere. It's a story from the Bible, and something is happening in that sound. It's a story. Let's have one more listen.
The Rise and Shine podcast.
We are doing the Bible story sound off.
And I'll tell you what, it's not an easy one. I want to play it just one more time so we can just have a little listen to this sound that we've been doing. And, I don't know, do you think you've got the answer for it?
Oh, I've got a few ideas.
Your kids thought they had the answers, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They were very excited the second I got out of the car the other day. Mummy, is it this? Is it that?
Well, considering it's only a 2-second sound, I'm going to play it one more time. Well, what we can say that it is not, Shelley, and these are the answers from Friday, are these.
I'm thinking it's casting lots for Jesus' garments. Seeing we're coming up to Easter, there's the soldiers casting lots.
That is a great guess because you can kind of hear the dice rolling.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Fantastic guess, but sadly it's incorrect. Sorry, Phil.
You know what, Phil? It was such a good guess. I'm not even going to play that nasty sound when people get it wrong because there was so little information given away there. I mean, that was the shortest clue ever. Even Shelley saying to me, is that all you got? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's day one. But super guess, mate. And obviously you're on a break up there in the Sunshine Coast, so hope and pray you have a really relaxing time. And thank you so much for calling us today on Rise and Shine.
Good on you, Andy. Thank you. Thanks, Shelley.
No worries. See ya.
What do you got?
Okay, I reckon it is Samson trying to break the ropes when he breaks the ropes of the Philistines. I reckon that's what it is.
That's not a bad guess, Shelley, is it?
I can see how you think that. Yep, I love it, but...
Do I win?
No.
Sorry. Ready? I'm not going to play that nasty...
All right, so they were the incorrect guesses from Friday, but we have some new people on the phones. Are we ready to go to the phones?
Let's go to the phone lines right now. Hello, who have we got there?
Kay.
Kay, what do you think the sound is?
Well, could it be the donkey walking down from the Mount of Olives carrying Jesus on Palm Sunday?
Wow.
That's a great guess. In fact, my kids guessed that one when I got home on Friday, and I think it is a fantastic guess, and I reckon it was what should have been the Bible story sound off this week.
Is it the answer, Kay? Oh, great guess, Kay.
I wish you were correct, Kay. I wish.
God bless you.
God bless you too. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Not a bad effort there, Shelley. And I think there's one more person on the lines. I think
Yeah.
it's Owen, and he's keen to answer the question now.
Maybe a donkey? I can't think of too many stories. And I don't think it'd be Easter rather than Christmas, I would think. So I would think maybe, gosh knows. It's Mary rode on the donkey before she gave birth.
All right, you're
That's
thinking
all
out loud.
That's all I've got.
But it's a good guess. I don't mind that guess because he's right. I mean, Mary did ride on a donkey when they went to Egypt, when they fled from...
Well,
you know,
and also when they went into Bethlehem as well.
Yeah.
She was in a hurry.
Oh, you've snuck in a couple of guesses
But
there,
anyway,
Owen.
well, let's see if either one of them are right. I'm feeling generous, so I'm going to give you...
Come on, Owen.
I'm going to give you 2 bites of the cherry on, but is it right? Very good guesses, Owen. Very good, mate. Thanks so much.
And the crowd went, oh.
Thanks so much for your call.
You too. God bless.
See you, mate.
Care.
Oh, and we love you, Owen. He was one that used to call us regularly back when I was on the radio, back in like 15 years ago. So, Owen, love that you've been a long-term listener to Vision and your support. Love you.
Yeah, well, he deserved his 2 bites of the cherry.
He
but,
did.
You
He
know what?
earned it.
The game lives, Shelley. The game
game-
lives. I will give away a little bit more of the sound tomorrow. And as the
What, are
week...
you going to give us 3 seconds?
I might give you 3 seconds,
Oh,
Shelley.
that's just so generous of you. Thanks.
Well,
I
you
don't
want,
think
you want
it's gonna
4?
help.
Have we got 4? Have we got 4? Yeah,
I think
4.
It's just going to be more of the same thing, though, isn't it?
Well, I don't
Or
know.
is there going to be like some voice going, oh, hi, I'm just here doing such and such?
Well, I'm going to hold you in suspense and your kids and all the kids out there and all the listeners today. Hang in there. As the week progresses, the more and more Sam will come out. It will get a little bit easier, but it's a great game, Shelley. And our listeners are so Bible savvy that if we give too much away too soon, as I said earlier, they're going to solve it too quick.
We're caffeinated and ready to face the day.
This is Rise and Shine on Vision.
There is a place in Australia that's going to be a top of 16 degrees today, Andy.
The top temperature.
Yeah, what state do you reckon it's going to be?
I'm tipping it's either Victoria or Tasmania.
Yeah, you're right. Bernie in Tasmania, I'm looking at you. It is so great to have you as part of the Vision family on 87.6 FM. And as mentioned, heading for a top of 16 degrees today, mostly cloudy, down to only 7 degrees overnight. So pull out those jumpers if you haven't already. It's getting chilly in Burnie.
That is fresh. And just some trivia for you, Shelley. The mayor of Burnie's actually called this show before. She loves listening to Vision Christian Radio. She's a good Christian lady. So God bless you, everyone in Burnie. We love all of you, not just the mayor. But I've got a Bible verse here. It's in Galatians chapter 6, and it's an oldie but a goodie. It says that and this is in verse 7, whatever a man sows, that he will also reap.
It's the daily podcast of your favourite Aussie breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
We thought we'd delve back into the archives, Andy, because I used to do this gig many years ago with Robbo. Now, everybody loves Robbo. Robbo has been doing Brekkie Radio here on Vision since forever.
Yep.
Or he did it forever ago. And we had the privilege of talking with Bob Gass back in February 2010. Now, Bob Gass is the author of The Word for Today, and he has this amazing Irish accent. And he has written literally decades worth of these devotionals. Very gifted man. And he used to read The Word for Today every day here on Vision as well.
Oh, wow.
And he had just this amazing accent, and he had this way of saying, hi there. Hi there. And we used to walk around the office going, hi there. And we told him this, and he just laughed. And, you know, it's fairly normal in his world. But, gee, he's just the nicest man. Sadly passed away in 2019. But we did have the privilege of talking to Bob Gass and finding out a little bit more about who he is as a person. Bob, from reading The Word for Today, you can tell that you yourself have had some pretty decent life experiences. For people not familiar with you, can you give us a bit of a quick synopsis? I know it's hard to sum up a whole life in a couple of minutes, but can you give us a quick synopsis of your life story?
When you ask a preacher to give you a brief answer, that's like defying the law of gravity. Well, I was born in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and my mom's dad was one of the builders of the Titanic.
Oh, wow.
The Titanic was built in Belfast. Right. And my dad died when I was just turning 13. And my mom raised my brother Neil, who is a minister, and my sister Ruthie, who is one of the contributing writers to The Word for Today. government would give us $9 a week. They called it a widow's pension. And my mum was one of the most radiant Christians, and perhaps this is an encouragement to some single parent listening, feeling like you're swimming against the tide with your kids. I would encourage you, don't give up. Because my mother took us to church, and I committed my life to Christ at 12 and preached my first sermon at 13.
Wow.
Came to America 3 weeks before my 18th birthday, and went on to travel and then build a church in northern New England in a place called Bangor, Maine. And God blessed us there. We had about 1,500 families and a school, and we went on television. And then the Lord led me to Atlanta in 81, and I have been there ever since. My first 5 years in Atlanta, I did a 1-hour daily television talk show called The Breakfast Club. God really used it. And then I traveled 46 weekends a year. And it would have been during that period that I was in and out of Australia and New Zealand and Europe, just preaching. And, of course, I think about 15 years ago is when I wrote the first copy of The Word for Today.
Man, I love that accent. I could listen to that guy all day.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful? And gee, he was just such an extraordinary man and just a lovely man. I did have the privilege of meeting him on a few occasions, but that was Robbo's and my conversation with him back in February 2010. Bob Gass, the author of The Word for Today. And if you'd like to get his daily devotionals, you can sign up at our website, vision.org.au. We can mail you a paper copy for you to receive in your letterbox, if that's how you like it. Or you can get it emailed to you every day, or you can access it through the Vision app.
Yeah, the Vision Christian Media app has The Word for Today as well. And look, during Visionathon, so many of our callers actually say they love The Word for Today. It's such a blessing to so many people all across Australia. And there is the man behind The Word for Today. And Shelley interviewed him back in 2010. Shelley, who can believe 6 kids ago, huh?
Lovely, lovely man. So check out our website, vision.org.au, if you want to sign up for The Word for Today.
You found the podcast of Vision's breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
I've been doing some pondering, Andy.
You've been doing some pondering. Well, we just hold that thought. Just if you're just joining us, Fel is away for a week or so. Now, normally around now, Fel and I do a little Bible study in the book of Mark. Now, I don't want to keep going down that path. I want to wait till she gets back so we can continue in Mark. So, Shelley, let's read a part of the Bible. You've been doing some pondering. Which part of the Bible would you like us to read?
A part that I've been pondering. Well, I really love Proverbs, the book of wisdom. There is so much wisdom in there. Of course, written by Solomon, who asked God for wisdom. And there's just so much in there. But the particular verse that I've been pondering...
Well, can we just stop there, Shelley? Can I ask you something?
Yes.
What do you think of Proverbs 31? Let me know.
It's wonderful. It's something great for us all to aspire to, especially Christian women. It is wonderful. Great for us to aspire to. And I don't think anyone ever gets it on the mic because it's basically like saying, I'm a perfect Christian.
Now, we don't want to question
Nobody
God.
ever says, oh, yeah, cool, yeah, I'm definitely the Proverbs 31 woman.
Yeah, well, we don't want to question God, but do you think maybe there should have been a chapter 32 about men as well? Do you just to even it up a little bit? You think it's fair that, there's a whole chapter devoted to the perfect wife, but not to the perfect husband?
This is true.
But I'm not going to question God, so,
We're thinking of Proverbs chapter 4:23, and the thing that got me thinking about this is when people say, oh, just follow your heart. Follow your heart, Andy. Do you find that in the Bible at all?
Well, I hear a lot of it on social media.
Yeah, but it's not in the Bible. There's all sorts of things about how the heart is deceptive and the heart leads you astray, basically.
Yeah.
And in Proverbs 4:23, it says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. In fact, we shouldn't be guided by our heart. We actually need to guard our heart to be careful, what happens to it. Because, the things that we say, the things that we feel, then ultimately affect the things that we do.
Yeah, and I like another translation of that where it says, guard your heart with all diligence. For out of it flow the issues of life. And you're so right today. And there's so much nonsense and rubbish out there on social media platforms, on Netflix, on movies these days. And we do have to totally guard our hearts. That's a really good verse.
So how do we guard our hearts? What does that actually look like in plain English? Well, I love that other verse that says, whatever is true, whatever is right, whatever is honourable, whatever is all of those things, let your mind dwell on these things. And I think that's the ultimate filter for us when we're thinking about conversations, when we're thinking about things that we're listening to, movies that we're watching, TV shows. Does it tick those boxes? If it doesn't, you need to get the remote. You need to switch it off.
There you go. And get the Word of God in there, because there's nothing like the Word of God on your human heart. That's when the human heart comes alive, isn't it?
So we filter out all of those bad things and we fill it with God's truth and wisdom. Cultivate that life that honours Him and reflects His love.
I like your pondering, Shelley. Maybe tomorrow we'll ponder more on Proverbs 31. And did we and should we have a Proverbs chapter 32?
You can write that one tonight.
The perfect man. Yeah, I don't think I'm the guy to write it, actually.
Always encouraging and always fun. Rise and shine on Vision.
Shelley, guess what? Next weekend is Easter.
Woohoo! Bring it on. We have a few traditions in our family around Easter. We do Passover with our kids on the Thursday night.
Oh, that's nice.
But we also do hot cross buns at any given point. And it just kind of occurred to me last night. I reckon it's about time to make the hot cross buns. But people have strong feelings when it comes to hot cross buns and when is the correct time to eat them.
You mean some people are just like, has to be Good Friday and maybe Easter Saturday, but not before that?
Yeah, and other people are like, nah, bring it on. The second it's in the shops, I'm going to be eating it. So I know that my mum has been had pretty strong feelings about this in the past. So I thought we'll get her on the phone. Mum, when is the correct time to eat a hot cross bun?
I've been pinged on this one. Good Friday.
Is that the only day that one is allowed to consume a hot cross bun?
Well, it has been that tradition in my family for many years.
Yeah, and you do have a tradition with that. Tell us about that.
Well, we, for many years, we went to my parents' place, and they always have to be toasted, of course.
Of course.
So we would go after church on Good Friday and have hot cross buns with Grandma and Papa. And, enjoy time together as a family.
And we did that every year. Even in Easter Fest years, we would rearrange our entire weekend so that we could go to church and hot cross buns with lashings of butter, catch up with the family, and then continue on our way to whatever else we were doing on the weekend. Mum, I really love that tradition, and it's something that we have basically continued ever since Grandma and Papa have passed away as well. The only thing is,
what you just said, let me just pause you there, Shelley. I love the lashings of butter.
Oh, yeah.
On anything warm like bread or toast. There's something about butter, isn't there?
Oh, butter on anything makes it taste good. Brussels sprouts, anything's going to taste good with butter. But, Mum, see, the thing is, what if you enjoy hot cross buns a bit too much and you want to have it more often than just one morning tea in the entire year? This is where I'm a bit conflicted.
Well, I've been a bit conflicted over this recently too, because some people have said to me that we should be celebrating Jesus' death and resurrection every day or every Sunday. So perhaps that's license for us to have them more often?
I think so. And this is actually one thing, you know how everyone has a whinge when the hot cross buns appear in the shops on Boxing Day and everyone's like, oh, it's Boxing Day, it's way too early. Yes, I agree, I don't buy them. And actually I end up making them with my kids. I don't actually buy them anyway, but
and they're very nice.
I think it's kind of interesting because Christmas is about Easter. You can't have Easter without Christmas. And I don't know how many people are, looking at their hot cross buns going, oh, cool, Jesus died for me. But are we complaining? There is a symbol of Jesus right there in the shops for months of the year. I used to be a bit, I don't like it. But now I'm like, you know what? This is kind of a cool thing. Let's just roll with it. And people are reminded of Easter for however many months of the year.
Sounds good. Well, how about we have hot cross buns next Christmas?
I like your thinking, Mum. I like it. I like it a lot.
Well,
I have some in my freezer, so I think I might have one for morning tea today.
Buster, all this talk is making me want to have one right now as well. So, Shelley, now that you've brought this up, I think you need to bring some in for us tomorrow morning. Can you manage that?
I'll see what I can do. Sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks, Mum.
You're welcome. Nice to hear you.
Shelley, you've definitely got me craving some butter on something hot right now. I actually went and bought some of that really nice bread from a bakery on Saturday and just went to town yesterday with lots of butter and Vegemite on sourdough. How good is it?
You're a little bit fixated on this butter thing, but I thought we should open it up to people. When is the correct time to eat hot cross buns?
Yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's too soon now, or is it time to start baking? It is school holidays, Shelley. Lots of mums home with the kids for the next couple of weeks on school holidays. Is it a good time to teach your sons and your daughters how to bake hot cross buns and also to sample them as well?
Yeah, do you have a tradition in your house like we do in my family?
Love the Rise and Shine podcast? Tell a friend today.
You've opened up Pandora's box or a can of worms, whichever one you want to call it, about hot cross buns. When can we eat them?
Yeah, because it suddenly occurred to me that I think it's time to start cooking the hot cross buns. And the irony, every year I get this because, like I just said, we do Passover with our kids on the Thursday night before Good Friday. I know it's not the exact right time because the date of Passover is different every year, but for us it's relevant coming into Easter. And so we're there making our matzah bread with the kids, which of course is a whole nother, beautiful lesson. And we don't do it in the kosher way where you got to do it in 16 minutes and whatever to throw it in the oven because we're just not that fast. But the irony of you've got to get all the leaven out of your house and all of that while we're also there baking and eating copious amounts of hot cross buns. So the two kind of don't really intersect very well. But they're very much loved traditions in our house. But I thought, let's go to the phones and ask people what their tradition around hot cross buns is. Do you have a particular time that it's okay to eat them? Let's go to the
Hi,
phones.
This is Jo from Point Cook in Melbourne.
Nice to hear from you, Jo. Do you have a tradition when it comes to hot cross bun?
Yeah, when my kids were growing up, we would always wait until Good Friday to eat our hot cross buns. I'd buy them up in bulk and put them in the freezer, but no one was allowed to touch them until Good Friday. So it was a really special thing, but occasionally these days I do let go and have one outside of Good Friday, but definitely love our hot cross buns. And like the lady said earlier, we celebrate Jesus' death and resurrection every single day as Christians. But it's a really nice reminder, isn't it, having those hot cross buns?
Yeah, absolutely. We are reminded every time we have it of the cross that Jesus died on, which is really nice. I'm curious as to why you bought them and stored them in your freezer for a while. Like, is there a reason why you didn't just buy them like a day or two before you're going to eat them?
Oh, no, I'd stock up when they're on special.
Oh, that's the go.
Bargain hunter. Yes,
a couple of years ago, our church does a thing where you bring a pack of hot cross buns and put them in the kitchen on the way into church, and then the magic fairies go and cook them while you're in church, and then you come out to lashings of large amounts of hot cross buns that are cooked with butter and everything. But I went to go and buy a bag on the night before Good Friday, and there was none. I went, the irony.
Oh, really?
I mean, they've been here since Boxing Day, and now that I need them the night before Good Friday, and there's none.
That's right.
I've missed the boat.
You can't leave it till the last minute. You've got to be prepared. Have them stocked up in the freezer.
I love your thinking. Hey, thanks so much for your call, Jo.
No worries. Thanks very much. You're doing a great job.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Just the right mix of things to inspire and things to make you smile. Rise and shine on Vision.
It's the first day of school holidays for many people across Australia today, Shelley.
Yes, a lot of kids on holidays. Some kids still have a week or more to go. So, we're not getting too excited for them just yet.
And if you're just joining us and you're wondering where Fel is away for a week or so. She had a medical procedure last week, but Shelley has stepped back into the saddle after not hosting morning breakfast radio here on Vision about 6 kids ago, Shell.
Yes, but I have been floating around ever since. You'll catch me here, there and everywhere, and I just love this place, and I believe so much in the mission and the vision of Vision. It's just such an incredible ministry across Australia. I want to say a special good morning to you if you're listening from Port Lincoln in South Australia on 87.8 FM. We love you guys. Thanks for being part of the Vision family. It's going to be mostly sunny in Port Lincoln today. 23 degrees, and mostly sunny tomorrow, 22 degrees.
Sounds really nice to me. Those are good temperatures. Anywhere in the 20s is nice, I think. I can do 20s.
Yeah, that's a good range.
Well, I'm in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, and this is a good verse too. And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart.
Oh, I love that one. If you're struggling today, don't grow weary in doing good. This is a great one for mums especially. I'm a mum. I've got 6 kids. Weariness is a thing.
It's
a thing. But don't grow weary in doing good. Don't grow weary in doing all those mundane things, because to you they're a mundane thing, but to God they are big things, and they are all things that matter.
I've heard of all-day breakfast on the menu, but here's a brekkie show available 24/7. Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily podcast.
Now, Shelley, one of our favourite guests here at Vision is Pastor Sam Wright. He's from the Coomera Baptist Church. He comes in and he drops some gold every time he comes with a fresh devotional. Pastor Sam, welcome to the studio today.
Thanks for having me. Back.
You're always welcome back, mate. What have you got for us today?
Well, it's a short devotion, but it's a pretty special verse, I think, that packed a lot into it. So background to it would be this. A lot of people are overwhelmed. Whatever's going on in all the listenership in the world of Vision, I'm sure everyone has a huge amount going on, and it's not unusual when you ask someone how they're going that they might say, I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed by whatever it is that is happening in their lives, family, friends, work. Life is a confusing and a matrix of all kinds of different things going on. Add on top of that, for Christians, we have our own battles with sin and temptation and the devil, and we can feel pretty weak, frail. We're humans, we're not God. And so where do we turn to for strengthening? That's my question. And it's not uncommon for God's people to desire and give thanks throughout the Bible that God gives me strength. So don't be discouraged that you might be longing for strengthening from the Lord. And here's a verse. It's from 2 Timothy. Paul is writing to Timothy. It's Paul's last letter. He's writing from prison. He's expecting an upcoming execution, and he's charging Timothy with how to live the rest of his life. And so far in chapter 1, it does not look like it's going to be an easy life for Timothy. Share in suffering, all these kinds of things. Timothy may be timid, may be worried, anxious. Paul says to him in chapter 2, verse 1, beautiful words. He says, "You then, my child, be strengthened by the grace that is in Christ Jesus."
Love it.
Love that.
So good. But let's just pause right there. How do we allow the grace to strengthen us?
Yeah. So that's the next question, isn't it? Because that can sound pie in the sky. I'm strengthened by the grace of God. First thing I think is what it's not. So it's not saying inner strength. That's not what we're looking for. We're not going, I need strength. I have it all inside of me and I'm ready to go. You tell that to someone who's weak and frail and struggling Christian, and you say, no, you've got it what it takes. That's actually not empowering. That's crushing, because I don't have what it takes and I need help from outside. And it is interesting that Paul uses a passive, we're getting into grammar, a passive which says you need to be strengthened, not be strong, be strengthened. And it's by the grace of God. So how does that work? I think it's going back to how I was saved. I did not rely on myself in that moment. It was me actually relying on another. And so I can go back to the knowledge that I am loved, I am kept, I am adopted as a child of God, and it is all grace. If I go in on myself and go, I'm strengthened by my good works, well, that is a flimsy and unstable way to feel strong today, because you'll have good days and you'll have bad days. And if you're like, I'm good today with God and everything, I'm a champion, but then on other days you're going to feel, what's more stable is the grace of God, which actually hasn't changed. So Tim Keller has a famous line where he talks about, we are more sinful than we ever, could have imagined. But at the same time, we're more loved than we ever dared dream.
Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah,
I like that.
I
Did Tim Keller say that whole thing? You're more sinful than you ever really
I'm trying to quote it well, but yeah.
But you're more loved than you ever realised too. That's so good. I love Tim Keller.
Yeah, he puts things beautifully. Very quotable. Jerry Bridges has one where he says, on your very worst day, you are not beyond the reach of God's grace. On your very best day, you're not beyond the need of God's grace. That's like a really strange... So Paul's saying, we're all familiar with being saved by grace.
Yeah.
But we don't actually move on from grace and go, now I'm just going to have to white knuckle it, and law keeping and rely on myself. Hey, he's like, you're saved by grace. You actually be strengthened by grace. We stand in grace. We continue in grace. So be strengthened this morning.
It's reminding me of Philippians 4 verse 13 that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And we often think of that verse in isolation, but if you look at it in context, it talks about how Paul is saying, look, I've had really good times and I've had some horrifically hard times. And God has sustained me through all of that. I can actually do all things through Christ, who gives me the strength to get through the ups and downs of day-to-day life and of my life as a whole.
Yeah, wonderful. Pastor Sam, as always, you've dropped a real little gold nugget there, and that's something we can think about during the day, how we can be strengthened through the grace of God. Thanks so much for joining us again in this studio. Isn't he a blessing, Shelley?
He is a real blessing. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks, Shelley.
And if you want to find out more about your church, it's the Coomera Baptist Church. What's your website?
Coomera.church.
There you go. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Coomera.church. There you go. Pastor Sam Wright from the Coomera Baptist Church.
Subscribe and listen to the Rise and Shine podcast in the free Vision app. It's easy and available everywhere.
Andy, I've got a lot of kids and they are beautiful. And
hang on, just remind us how many you got in case someone's just joining us now, Shelley. How many children are at home waiting for you in that giant shoe?
The giant shoe. Look, plenty of our listeners have far more children than I do. It really isn't that out of the ordinary.
I know there's a lot of heads popping out of those little shoelace holes, though. So talk us through it, Shelley. How many of those munchkins are there waiting for you?
There's only 6.
Only 6 kids?
There's only 6, and they are wonderful. They are aged from 13 years down to 14 months. And kids, they are just so wonderful. They have lots of interesting things to say. But it was my 9-year-old that had the quote of the weekend. He is very, very thoughtful. His little brain is, well, he's a smarty pants as well. Like, he's very, very switched on. But just out of the blue, he goes, "Hey, Mum, I wonder what it would feel like if we were fictional."
Ooh, wow, that's deep.
Yeah. It wasn't just, oh, hey, imagine we were all fictional stories, fictional characters in a story. It was like, I wonder what it would feel like if we were fictional. So there's your thing to ponder for your Monday. It's pointless because we're not fictional.
It's really deep, Shelley, but I suppose, you're getting it. I'm just thinking about your 6 kids, that giant shoe at home. And the amazing thing is, and look, this is hot off the press right now, you guys are open to another one or maybe another 2, aren't you?
Yeah, to whatever God gives us, which is wonderful. But they won't be fictional. We are not fictional beings. But I just love that. I wonder what it would feel like if we were fictional. If you can answer that, then let me know.
I don't know if anyone's got the answer for that, Shelley. I'm going to have to really think about it. If we were fictional and not non-fictional. I'm just thinking about that old movie, The Truman Show. Was that fictional? I don't know. Was that non-fiction? It was a bizarre concept, but it was kind of ahead of its time really too, wasn't it? Because it was before all this scrutiny we have now with social media and all the rest of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, those kids, they get you thinking, and thankfully this time it wasn't a super curly theological question.
Brought to you by the generosity of Vision family members across Australia and around the world. The Rise and Shine podcast.
Hey, Shelley, guess what we're going to do right now?
Have a cup of tea.
I'm having a cup of tea later, but we are going to play
Rise and Shine's Headline or Deadline.
And we've got a couple of sound bites here from the news team, and they both sound very believable. I just want to listen to them.
Good morning. With Rise and Shine's Headline or Deadline, I'm Naomi Miller. Which is a headline and which is a deadline? A British comedy club bans patrons with Botox following complaints from performers, or a Texas coffee shop imposes a service charge for customers wearing a fedora. Headline or deadline, which is a headline and which is a deadline? A British comedy club bans patrons with Botox following complaints from performers, or a Texas coffee shop imposes a service charge for customers wearing a fedora.
All right. One of those is true. One of those is not. Which one's the headline? Which one's the deadline? Let's go to the phones.
Hello, who have we got there?
Oh, you have Whitfield.
Whitfield, what do you think the answer is? Which is our headline and which is our deadline?
I think the headline is the fines thing for wearing the fedora at a Texas coffee shop.
Okay, Shelley, what are your thoughts on
this?
The
extra service charge. I hope it's not this one because I really like fedora hats.
Well, let's go to the newsroom now.
Headline or deadline? You've chosen the story. A Texas coffee shop imposes a service charge for customers wearing a fedora. That is a deadline, not a true story.
What? Oh, Whitfield, you're wrong. So the Botox one is the true one. They're turning away people with Botox from their particular class. Can you even do that?
Well, let's have a listen to the newsroom because they never lie, Shelley. They never lie.
Headline or deadline? You've chosen the story. A British comedy club bans patrons with Botox following complaints from performers. That is this week's headline.
No, I don't think you can't even do that, can you?
Well, Whitfield, I'm with you. I actually thought the Texas one too. That was my first reaction. But who would have thought, hey, Botox is banned in Britain?
Whitfield, do you like fedora hats?
I don't know what they are, so I guess.
They're pretty stylish, old-fashioned kind of hats.
Good on you, Whitfield. Well, thank you for calling in. Sounds like you're going to be on school holidays this week. Is that true?
No, I'm feeling a bit sick.
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry to hear that, mate. Well, hope you're feeling better soon and really appreciate you calling Rise and Shine.
You're welcome. Bye.
It was a valiant attempt there by Whitfield, Shelley, but you know what? A 50-50 shot, but he didn't quite get it today.
Great conversations and great friends. The Rise and Shine podcast.
G'day to your listener. If you're listening from the back of Bourke in New South Wales, 94.5 FM. In fact, my parents were just there a few months ago and quite literally in the back of Bourke. They were going to some tourist attraction. I can't remember if it was like a opal mine or something or other. Anyway, you had to go down into this cave. And they were at the back of Bourke, like the literal, middle of nowhere. And just as they were about to go down into this cave, up came some people that they knew from their local church.
Is that right?
You can't take them anywhere. Like, honestly, my parents will find friends all over Australia. Anyway, if you're listening in Bourke this morning, it is great to have your company. A sunny day, top of 30 degrees, and tomorrow also looking sunny and 28.
There you go. And I think every Aussie needs to go to Bourke at least once. I've been to the back of Bourke as well.
Have you?
About 2 hours west of Bourke. Yeah, a cousin of mine and I went down there to... let's just say eradicate some feral pests. And
that's so nice of you.
Yeah, we were looking for pigs. And so, but the drive to Bourke is what I remember most because it just took so long to get there. And I loved it because I had worship music on, preaching on. I was on my own in the car just praying. And I would say I actually had a real encounter with God on the drive to Bourke.
There you go. So it's obviously memorable heading out to the back of Bourke.
And he must
God
have
had big things for you.
And he loved those pigs too because we didn't see as many as we wanted to. But it was a good time. But I got a Bible verse. We're still in the book of Galatians, chapter 6. And verse 16, therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all, especially to those who are of the household of faith.
Oh, love it. What good things can we do today?
It's such a good book, isn't it? Hey?
It is. Oh, so full of just easy, direct information and advice. It's really, really good.
You found the podcast of Vision's breakfast show, Rise and Shine.
Rise and Shine. So great to be back in this chair with you, Andy. It's been many, many years since I did Brekkie Radio with Robbo. We called it The Journey back in the day.
Or as I like to say, 6 kids ago, Shelley. I'm still in awe of your 6 kids at home. And I have met one of your boys, and he's a really nice young man, actually. He comes in here during Visionathon, helps us out and walks around and helps his dad, your husband, out. So so far I love all 6 kids. I've only met one. I can't wait to meet the other 5.
The cuteness factor is very, very high. They are wonderful kids.
Lots of laughs with lots of heart. The Rise and Shine podcast.
Holy Forever. Oh, what a voice. Holy Forever by Phil Wickham. Thanks to Philip in Perth. That was our curtain call today, Shell.
It's my baby's favourite song. I kid you not.
How old's your baby?
14 months old. But this is the thing. We've kind of learned, and we stumbled across it accidentally, that there is one song for each of our babies that
so
they can go...
Baby's not talking it. Is he like Morse coding or something? Favourite song.
Well, they can go, and we're talking from like newborns onwards, and they can be screaming about whatever they scream about. They're overtired or whatever. And provided, yes, they're fed and nappy changed and all the rest. You know how babies just cry and you're like, just go to sleep. So you just have to kind of trial and error until you find the song. And this one is the song for my baby. And so he can be crying and whatever. As soon as the song starts, he just instantly goes quiet and then falls asleep minutes later. Sometimes you need to repeat it a couple of times. But it's amazing. This song is incredible. Sometimes when we sing it at church, he's like, hang on, what's going on? What's going on here, Ma? Is it sleep time? What's going on?
Look, that is a great parenting tip. There could be some people out there right now in Australia about to have their first baby. We've heard it first here on Vision with Shelley, who's got 6 kids, by the way. She doesn't live in a shoe. I was teasing her earlier. She doesn't live in a shoe, but she does have 6 kids. So, no one ever told me that. I've got 3 kids, and I wish I'd known that tip because I used to take them for drives around the block when my little guys wouldn't sleep, just to make them fall asleep again.
No, mine don't believe in doing such convenient things like falling asleep in the car. But yeah, we discovered it by accident. My first kid that we discovered it with, it was Above All from Michael W. Smith. I have heard that song approximately 1 billion times, but I still like it because it helped me a whole lot with my baby, and I had plenty of time to ponder the lyrics. But anyway, it is time for us to head out of here for another day.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.